What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ, Prospect Profiles. Today we're going to focus on Marko Dano from the Slovan Bratislava of the KHL and one of the top Slovakian prospects eligible for the 2013 NHL entry draft. He really played a big role for Slovakia and the World Juniors this year with 9 points in 6 games. He's a late 94, so just turned 18 right before the tournament, about a month before the tournament, and had 12 penalty minutes in 6 games. To go along with that, he had that kind of cheap shot to Sharkov from the Russians, but he he's an incredibly talented kid. He really brings the grit, brings the tenacity. He's playing limited minutes in the KHL, but the fact that he's playing against men speaks volumes about his level of commitment to being a great hockey player. Had 4 points in 3 games with Trichin in the U20 team last year, and has played a number of different teams over the last couple of years, going the Slovakian Pro League, the KHL, the World Juniors each of the last 2 years. Was one of the youngest players in the tournament last year and still had 3 points in 6 games, and really held his own out there. His father is Dano, was a pretty good pro player in Europe for a couple of years, for a number of years, and I think that's what you get from Dano. He plays center, play wing. Really versatile forward, undersized at 5'11", 185 pounds, but he's got the grit and tenacity to make it happen and offset the not being the biggest guy out there. And I think his offensive productivity will come around. He's been ranked anywhere between 40 and 50 overall. I think he's like 10th or 13th among European players, but I think he definitely has first, second round. A first round upside, but I think he'll be a second round pick. I think he'll be a good value second round pick. Let him develop in Europe a little bit. He's playing against men. He really had a great World Junior tournament. You can let him season in Europe before you bring him over. And I think that's the best thing for him long term, both for him and for the organization that drafts him. But I really like his game. I thought he was Slovakia's best player at the World Juniors. He really didn't play like a draft eligible kid. He played like he was a 19, 20-year-old kid. Obviously not 20 World Juniors, but you guys catch my drift. And really played mature for his age, and I like that. I think he's really got some upside. I think the edge is there. Not your prototypical European player, but he's really got a lot. Got a lot ahead of him, and I think he's gonna be a great player. I think he needs to tighten up defense a little bit. He's a minus. Well, he's actually a +3 in the KHL. So. But listen, he's got 22 pins in 35 games too, so he's not afraid to mix it up, and I think he's going to continue to develop and continue to be productive. I think he's probably a top 9 forward in the NHL that can play a number of different roles, play your power play, kill penalties. I don't want to say Brad Marchand, he's a little bit bigger than Marchand, but I think somewhere along those lines is what you're going to get from long term, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's like this episode of the Power Play with CJ, Prospect Profiles on Marko Dano of Slovan Bratislava of the KHL and one of the top Slovaks eligible for the 2013 NHL entry draft. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.